Hello everyone, my name is Roya, and today I'm reviewing Not Your Average Joe by Grace K. Shim. This is a book that I actually read way back in August. It was sent to me for early review from Penguin Teen, so thank you so much to Penguin Teen for sending this my way, and I happened to read it way back then, and it doesn't come out until March 12th, so I waited a little while to actually film a review of this, but I wanted to review it even though I gave it about 3.5 out of 5 stars. Usually my rating for like a book that I give maybe 3 stars to is just kind of mediocre the whole way through. This was not. This was like everything. About half of the content of the book was done really well, and half of it was done really not well, and the things that were done really well were really good. It had a really good message. It was really fun to read, and then everything that it did poorly was really underdeveloped, really took me out of the story, etc., etc. So I thought that I would do a review in favor of, the good things about this book and kind of the things that I didn't really enjoy about this book so much. So to begin with, this book is about a girl named Riley Joe who lives in a small town in Arkansas, and she's basically the only Korean her age who she really knows. Her family is, there are very few Asian families even in her town in Arkansas, and so her family, it like really tones down their culture, everything cultural about them. They didn't teach her Korean. They don't really do a lot of Korean stuff or anything to like teach her about her culture, anything like that. And yet she's different enough from her classmates that she never really makes any friends. She kind of just hangs out at her house playing guitar all day, etc., etc. And so she gets her parents to agree to send her to a music school in LA for the last year of high school, under the condition that she then go to college in her town in Arkansas, which she really tries to get out of by getting a record deal out of the music school. So basically the music school that she ends up going to is primarily a classical music school, and it's full of Asian kids like her, so it's like her first time really having other Koreans to hang out with and other Asians to hang out with, etc., etc. But she is one of 3 kids who is actually part of a contemporary band program where they try to like form a rock band, and their advisor for the program is this pop idol guy, and basically she is the only Asian out of those 3. So the main guy in it is white, and then the drummer is Latinx, and basically she's replacing 2 white dudes who quit the program very unexpectedly, and no one knows why. So when she arrives, her classmates in the program say, wait, you're Riley Joe? Like they were expecting a white dude pretty much. And the advisor guy, he only meets with them really by computer and everything, because he's not really there. I don't know, he's busy, I have no idea. But he seems equally shocked that she's the Riley Joe joining them, and he says, well, I'm not sure if you're a good fit because we don't play K-pop. And she says, excuse me, I don't play K-pop, and so she's really surprised that to hear like a discriminatory comment, and so she does tell her Korean roommate afterwards like what happened, and her roommate says, oh gosh, you should report him. And Riley kind of thinks, well, that's not really, she thinks to herself, like, that's not really report worthy. Like, there are actual hate crimes going on. Like, some guy assuming that I play K-pop isn't really, like, she doesn't really think it's discriminatory enough to be reported, especially since this is the guy standing in her way of a record deal. But the main guy in the band, kind of, whose dad is actually the advisor guy, he doesn't like Riley because his dad favors like the songs that she brings to the table more than his, and so he's kind of annoyed by her and all of that, and then she comes up with a better name for the band because they were calling themselves the Boys, when now that they have a girl in the mix, they can't really just call themselves the Boys. And honestly, that sounds like a really generic name to begin with. Like, talk about not not having anyone be able to search your band ever. Like, that sounds so annoying. So this book has a really powerful message in like what constitutes discrimination and how it doesn't have to be, you know, someone saying a racial slur or committing an actual hate crime to be discrimination. It can be anything. And even like walking away from a record deal because you're not getting the credit you deserve and you're not treated well, like that's actually really important. And I mean, one of the reasons why I wanted to review this book was because I'm a musician, and I have experienced a lot of things, you know, as a woman playing music, and I am also a West Asian woman as well. And even though I haven't experienced, let's say, like people being outwardly discriminatory, I have noticed there's a really big pattern with who, let's say, gets a record deal and gets this and that and who doesn't. It's pretty clear. So the fact that, you know, Riley is going to this school to try to get a record deal, and then she ends up sacrificing everything that she's worked towards and everything she's done because she's not, she's just going to be treated as like second best no matter what. They're always going to have the white dude be the one singing, even when she wrote the song and she could totally sing it, etc., etc. I also really liked how it does keep stuff from the reader that you want to find out, and it doesn't even have to be big secrets either. Even stuff like why, you know, why did those two dudes who she replaced quit the program a year early and just like leave. That seems pretty, you know, you know there's a reason why. But overall, the things that I didn't like about this book so much, so there were a lot of really underdeveloped things about it just the whole way through. Not even like it's one major thing more than the other things. It's a lot of little things throughout the whole book. So for instance, all the characters besides the main character are pretty flat. Like they can all pretty much be defined by like one personality trait. It's also like a big detail in the story that comes up several times is that Riley's favorite musician is Skylar Twist, who is made up for the story, but it's clear that it's supposed to be Taylor Swift. It's literally like just mentioning a fake name in place of like Taylor Swift. But Taylor Swift is also mentioned several times throughout the story. So they could have easily just said that her favorite musician was Taylor Swift and change any mention of Skylar Twist to Taylor Swift. So it seemed really like, since that was something that came up multiple times and actual artists are named dropped throughout the story, I just didn't see what the reason was for having like every time someone asks her favorite musician or something, or every time it comes up who her favorite musician is, it's someone made up. It didn't make any sense, and there was nothing about Skylar Twist that, you know, we get details of that added to the story that was different from any actual artist that could have been named in her place. So there were things like that, and then also a big part of the story is that this film student who is Riley's love interest is making a documentary about their band as kind of a school project. And first of all, I'm not sure what his deal is because this is a music school and it's not really clear if he attends the same school, but as a film student, because it doesn't seem, because it's a music school, like do they have a film department, or if he goes to like another school close by or something that's for film, I don't know. So that didn't really make sense. I was kind of not sure where he came from. And the documentary that he makes actually has footage, footage where he actually is like interviewing people like a bandmate's mom and stuff like that who doesn't live anywhere near them, or even like Riley's parents are interviewed in it and they live in Arkansas. And so it's like, did he literally get on a plane and go and interview those people, or like get interview footage over video from them? Like, I'm not really sure. And so that didn't make any sense. It was really weird. And then part of, you know, as part of the documentary, they end up showing that the advisor guy just from hearing Riley's name. And there's like an actual, there's actual footage of him being like, Riley Joe, how am I supposed to work with that? When it seemed like he was surprised. Like, first of all, where did that footage come from? Who had that? That doesn't make sense. And then second of all, he was surprised when Riley walks into the room the first time that he meets her. Like he was like, wait, you're Riley Joe? So which is it? Is he surprised that she's an Asian girl because he expected her to be a white dude? Or did he assume she was Asian and was upset about it? It seems kind of funny that we have both of those in the book. So it's kind of like where, that doesn't make sense. And there are like little plot holes like that too throughout, kind of like the two dudes who it's mentioned that the two dudes who left the program early are going to a community college and stuff. And I'm like, wait, they were juniors in high school when they left. Why did they skip like senior year and go to a community college? Or are they in high school somewhere? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, suddenly they're a year older than the others. Like, that doesn't make sense because they left the program a year early. So that seems kind of, so there were just a lot of things where there was just a lot of suspension of disbelief. Let me tell you that this book was possibly one of the most awkward books I think I've read ever. So starting with, the fact that Riley initially does not report her advisor for the discriminatory comment, and her roommate assumes she reported him. And then in their like Asian club meeting, she basically almost like outs what happened. Like she says like one person here today was even discriminated against by her own advisor. And Riley goes, "Oh my gosh, please don't say what happened." So she does get thrown under the bus several times. She almost gets thrown under the bus even more times, and it's just so super awkward, like, the entire way through. And of course, it is a very awkward subject matter because nobody likes being discriminated against, but it is such an awkward book. Oh my god. Like, the things that happen in this book that are discriminatory and the things that people are, like, having to talk about when they're not comfortable with it. And at the very end of at almost the end of the book, the way that Riley jeopardizes her record deal is awkward as fuck. I seriously was just like cringing for her. I was like, why? Why are you doing this like this? And so it's just a really awkward book. So there were definitely times it was so hard to read, but I mean, the subject matter calls for some of that, but did it really have to be that awkward? I don't even know. But yeah, so overall, I enjoyed this book. There were definitely times where I really wanted to find out what happened, so it was really hard to put down. And it's not a particularly long book either, but there was enough that like really took me out of the story and felt so underdeveloped or was a gigantic plot hole that I just kind of felt like this book was not fantastic. Like, it really could have been so much better had some of that not been had some of that been addressed differently, or some of those things had been like developed a little bit more, or just left out completely. Like, there was just way too much in there that the book was trying to have, that it just messed it up kind of and didn't have everything developed the way it should have been to make a good story. So thank you for sticking with me through this slightly long review a little bit. Anyway, if you've read this book and have any thoughts on it, please let me know. If you're seeing this, after the release date, or if you got to read it early as well, because I think I am posting this ahead of the release. But definitely, if you are interested in this book, if any of this sparked your interest, definitely check it out. And thank you for watching this video. I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye.